M&K Exotics presents Not Another Reptile podcast.
Good evening, everybody. I'm glad you could make it out. I'm glad. Thank y'all for coming on. Yes, I'm very Southern. I say y'all and all that stuff. Y'all from North or South Carolina. So
I'm from South Carolina. He's from Jersey.
oh, I'm sorry. Well, my husband's from California, so
Wow.
yeah.
It's a house divided.
Oh, yeah.
The best way to have it.
That's right.
Tonight, guys, super excited to have Will and Audra from Flawless Exotic Creations and Flawless Exotic Crested Geckos on tonight.
Yes.
Super great people that I've known for probably about 2 years now. And not only great people, but have insanely cool animals, both balls and crested geckos. So tonight's going to be a really fun, really cool show with them. So why don't you guys just introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So yes, Will, Audra,
And
down
listen,
here out
y'all don't know.
in South Carolina.
Everybody knows them.
That's right. But no, we've been doing pretty much the ball pythons now for 2 years. Actually, Saturday, we're just talking about Saturday will be the 2-year mark for our YouTube release. And we're just trying to get ourselves out there, pretty much build our platform and continue to help people get into the market, getting into the industry, not quite knowing which direction to go, much so like how we work. And just get better knowledge of the industry and the side of things.
Let's do our shout outs real quick.
Absolutely.
Mr. Tyler, I'm going to let you do it tonight. You got full control now.
I have full control now. All right. We got Sammy up in here. What's up? I got to get back to your text. I saw you texted, but I haven't read it yet. Chucky, what's up? Rob, what's up? James, good to see you. Back to see me. Mike, what's going on tonight? Edge of Panic Ball Pythons. What's up? I don't know your actual name, so I need to get
Jose.
that.
That's Jose.
Jose. Gotcha.
I always say, man, y'all put your name beside your company name.
I'm so bad. We got David, M&K Exotics, Banafields. Is that how I say it? I'm really bad with names.
Yep.
Jeremy, what's going on, dude?
Sure.
And Will, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Arctic Morphs, what's going on? And that is the last one. So
I haven't seen Arctic Morphs yet. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Do y'all hear it?
A little bit. It's not.
I a little bit.
Oh, these things, I tell you, we've been trying different internet services here, and we are not having any luck at all.
Oh no.
So, y'all, I love your show. How does it feel to be on the other side for once, just to relax and not have to work anything?
Not the same.
We so when we first started out, we kind of were starting to do a little few interviews here and there, so we kind of got used to that at first, and then we started branching out and making our own videos.
Right.
Right. Well, that's something I am really bad about is making videos because I've got so much other stuff going, and I know I need to, but like I can take a picture and make it look okay. I can't do a video worth a flip. So, but I love watching y'all's content. Y'all are so sweet. You're like the perfect couple. I mean, I know it's never ever all sugar and cream, right? But you know,
I want to cook him sometimes.
I like watching Audra like kick Will's butt sometimes. It really makes me smile.
Gotta make no.
Oh god.
right?
Yeah.
But I know, again, you said you said you started the ball python channel at least 2 years ago. I know you guys, I think we're in it a little before you started the YouTube channel.
Yeah, probably a matter of a few months.
Right. I know it was
Oh.
long. But way before that, you guys started doing the crested geckos. That's what you guys were first known for and are still, I would say, known for more than the balls.
Yep.
You want to talk about how that started? What got you guys into the cresties?
Absolutely.
There's a story somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a story. Our prior profession, both of us were in law enforcement. Audra was a sheriff deputy. I was a police officer down here in Spartanburg. And home life, I don't want to say relationship wise, it was just timing was bad.
Yes.
It was like I worked third shift for like 8 years straight.
And I worked third.
Yeah.
Well, you
days.
worked third for 10, really.
Almost.
I was 8, 7, 8.
Well, coming toward the end of it, the last pretty much year and a half, I was able to do my own schedule in my department. But then she was at a different department, so we were still in passing. we would see each other in passing. So we didn't have a whole bunch of home time, one-on-one time, together, relationship at the time. It was just rough. We didn't go on any vacation, like anything. It was rough. And I went into a pet store one day, saw Petco, and the kid, I call him a kid, he's probably 20, but he was helping me out, and he was telling me about geckos. And I saw how they would keep them in the store, and I didn't anything up. I was like, hey, I'm in the pet store. They're offering awesome customer service at the time. Left out of there with enclosure and, 3, 4.
Yeah, no. So I was already at home, like in the bed, had already put my pajamas on in the bed to go to sleep shift that night. And he calls me and he was like, hey, I need you to come outside because I need you to help me take the bricks and stuff. I'm already irritated. I'm like, I don't know why he wants to come outside, but I'm mad and I don't want to go outside. I'm already it's ridiculous. So I come outside and I butt down in the back of his car and pulling out all this stuff. And I'm like, and then he hands me this tiny little box with holes poked in it. And I looked at him, I said, what is this? And then I looked at her and saw there was a glass terrarium for reptiles. And I'm like, what is this? I said, this better. You're gonna be the funky smell in the attic if it is. And he was like, just chill out. We're gonna get you over your fear of snakes today. And I said, William, it better not be a snake. And when I opened it, it was these 4 little baby geckos, and they were just looking up at me like, what's up? And that kind of pretty much was it.
Yeah, we set them up. Here comes the research portion. Audra, I started researching absolutely everything, going every nook and cranny and rabbit hole, and discovering there was different morphs and different looks and everything about them.
Well, and I asked, how hard are these things to breed? Because these are kind of cool. And he's like, I don't know, but I'll figure it out.
And in my research, everything the salesperson told me was wrong. They had me feeding like crickets, like literally 4 times a week.
Something like that.
But I corrected everything through the research, got all the information through Facebook groups, reading through and noticing people were arguing with this and like the clicks and things. I'm like, wait, what's going on? At the time, like in high school, and you're just trying to figure out and maneuver through most of it to get the information. So
that came kind of naturally to both of us because of the
did
profession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanna, yes, I never thought that I would be handling snakes at this point. A couple of years ago, I was like, but
yeah. So we ended up going that route and started ordering geckos online from other, smaller breeders. And just becoming more and more familiar with it. We actually started purchasing from Altitude Exotics. We didn't know who Brian was, which is one of, he's like, in our opinion, the Justin of crested geckos.
Crested geckos.
And we started purchasing from him and noticing the different genetics behind everything and started tracking some of that stuff down. And over the years and working with them and developing our relationship with Brian, further in our collection, we've grown down to 2,500 crested geckos.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been 8 years. Last year, we sold over 5,000 geckos sold, which is awesome. And one of the things that we wanted to do when we started Flawless Exotic Creations was we started YouTube on Flawless Geckos really, really late. When we built this facility on our property, we started YouTube at that point.
Well, I would say we started YouTube. We more or less started documenting things, and because at the time, both of us were still working as police officers at the time, and so it was very difficult. I mean, you're working 2 full-time positions, and if anybody knows anything about policing, you know that just that shift is not all that it is.
You got court, you got
all this extra.
Around and stay back and hold over for shift. It was a very, very overwhelming, and having the kids, we have 4 kids as well. So everything kind of came in moderation as we built, the facility, but it came to kind of ahead. I'm like, hey, we started vending because we didn't vend shows for 3 years.
Yeah,
we didn't vend shows at all.
Maybe.
Our first 3 years, almost 4 years, we would go to a show, as customers and mingle and meet and greet and network, but we didn't vend any shows. It was kind of not in our business plan to do so. We looked at the reptiles as enjoyment. We spent a lot of fun times together messing with these guys, and then a lot of frustrating times trying to take pictures, trying to make them stay still. And then we just kind of applied what we already knew from the business world into this side of the business, of the keeping and breeding side. And that's basically supply and demand and keeping your expenses as low as possible. So oftentimes what can be second nature to you or us is not second nature to everyone else, which is why we want to start putting out videos to hopefully not say, hey, this is the only way to do it, but hey, this is a way you can try and see if you come out on one side.
So just to answer that, Anna, that the smart stuff kind of came as we built, just because he has always been very techie anyway. Like he just learns things from areas and things like that. So yeah, he just kind of said, we're gonna have this lockdown like Fort Knox. We're gonna know what's going on, and so that's just kind of
technology stuff. I did, I used to build car stereo, all that stuff in my younger years. So technology stuff, as long as I can get, the information, especially with YouTube. I mean, YouTube kind of walks us through everything. You watch, 10 videos on a topic, you'll know which video to dismiss and not listen to, and the other videos to follow. And you just kind of gain that information and just start applying it. Pretty much smooth.
Yes, we'll be vending Daytona with cresteds.
Yes, with cresteds.
Cresteds only.
It's not in the cards yet to vend with the ball pythons. We're probably, and it's a rough estimate, probably 2 years out from vending with ball pythons.
But you said you guys have 4 kids?
Yes.
So we know what y'all were doing. It wasn't snakes and all the work you're saying you did. Okay. But like how I remember my 3 kids being little, and it was just like I was a stay-at-home mom for most of the time, and it was like always super busy. I couldn't even, there's days you can't find time to put a brush through your hair. How old are they now?
12, 13, 14, and 20.
So you did it like I did it. All my 3 kids were 1999 or 98, 99, and 2000. There we go. I'll get it out there.
For years, when I said, "Hey, baby, what year you was born?" I know your birthday.
Yeah.
Too much stuff to remember.
Too much.
Oh, me too. My husband knows when our anniversary is. I have no idea.
Oh, she knows all that.
I'm really
I
bad
made
with
it.
that stuff.
Well, 10-1. That's easy to remember.
Right.
We just
So did the
actually
kids help you guys out with cleaning and the reptiles and
Oh,
everything?
yes. Actually, and that's the other aspect. Not to get super techie and professional and everything, but certain aspects down here in South Carolina law, we actually employ our kids, and give them a schedule, give them a pay rate, and basically they work for us. And you can also write that off when you file your taxes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It works really good.
Yep. Oh man, I wish I still had kids at home, but I don't. Man, that would have been awesome.
Oh
They
yeah.
they were already gone whenever we started this venture 3 years ago.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
cleaning
that's
those
really
snakes.
neat. I mean, what's that?
Especially cleaning those snake tubs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather do the snakes than the rats any day, though.
Oh,
See, I'd much rather do that.
yeah, but even with that, they clean them well.
Yeah, they do.
After they clean the rat tubs,
They
snake
Oh
tubs.
no, Audra said she'd rather do the rats than the snakes, and I just can't believe that. But
But we have a really smooth system with the rodents. Really smooth system. The way we do it with the horse stall replacement.
Well,
The pine.
So we have pine pellets, and then I take the powder, the
Horse
ammonia
refresher,
killer.
yeah.
It's like a horse stall refresher, and I just drizzle over that, and then I do the pine shavings on top of that, and that's their actual, I guess, substrate. If you want to call it that, but they're bedding,
Right.
and so it really is.
Plus,
real
the
simple.
key to it is we have double the tubs.
Yeah.
So we can stage every tub that's replacing
Mhm.
the dirty tubs before we even touch a rat. Literally swap them out, boom, 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 stack the dirty, walk away, tell the kids, go out there, dump the tubs and clean them.
No, they
Yeah,
don't
you
have to be a certain age. They're to do a taxes, yeah, it kind of has to be that. But
Right.
as far as that, it's always a good thing to get your kids going when they're young. Give them a quarter or something when they're a little bitty. $1 as they go further, and just teaching them some responsibility. It's really good to have them do that.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Carissa.
so
So, the way we do ours is we have like 5 or 6 racks. I don't even remember 6, but we just have tubs out there, and we'll clean out the first rack, skip one, clean out the second one, skip one, and do it like that. That way, as we're cleaning that first big set, because we power wash ours every week. I have to. So, and we just start moving them over, and it took us about 6 months to figure out a really good way to get it, because we were there for a while. We only had 2 racks. So. But there is definitely a system.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Definitely a
Thought it
system.
You
Hey, Frank.
yeah, the rats can be a huge pain. I think I need to get to the point where I do have double bins, because I don't
Especially
right now.
you have a long breathing.
I know. That's the hard part. So we added a couple new racks, and literally like we had 2 extra bins when we filled all of them, and so like we're like, okay, we need to go buy more bins so we can set them up before we start cleaning, because there's a couple racks. Like most of our stuff are just the standard mixing tubs from like Home Depot or whatever.
Right.
We have 2 racks that don't use those, besides our Freedom Breeder racks and whatever, and those are a pain because you like unload them. We have 1 extra of those bins. We want to get rid of those racks so bad. It's just empty a bin, scrape it, reload it, and fill them back in, which takes way too long. Even though it's just 1 rack, it's like when I can just go through 30 bins at a time and just get it done, it makes me feel so much better. So you went crested geckos, and when did you decided to get the balls 2.5 years ago ish?
Right.
What made you decide to branch and go also ball pythons? And then obviously that led into doing the rats. You wouldn't have the rats without the snake. But what brought you? Oh yeah.
Hey, Frank.
This is a very interesting question. So, remember I said we started vending very, very late, and our first show that we vended, or I vended that Audra was working,
Working that night.
but we vended right next to Bob, Bob, and
I have
picking
Bob
his
with
brain.
me.
Yeah, I picked his brain. My daughter working the table with us. She wanted a snake, and we ended up going down that path with the snakes. But like Audra always said, I kind of go 100% with whatever it is that we end
Oh
up
my
doing.
heavens.
Started researching more and more, and I mean, it really is a good thing. But from our perspective, when we've been shows, we see all of our buddies, we see all of our friends, we see all of our customers. It's an overall good. But I will say this: as a crested gecko breeder, when we've been shows, every single show we go to, it's a snake show. It is legitimately a snake show. 9 times out of 10, I would say 10 times out of 10, a customer that's walking through the doors of the show look at a snake and say, "Hey, that's a snake." Whether it's a boa, whether it's a ball python, they say that's a snake. When they come to our table, they're like, "What is that?" So then we're educated all day,
Yes.
every day, twice on Sunday, shows that we go to. So when I sat down with Audra, we sat down and we're like, "Hey, I kicked it to her and I said, you know something? We've been greatly successful thus far with Crested Eagles, and we're going to continue to grow with it. But it's a very, very tough industry to be successful. Extremely tough. But I will say that the genes and morphs and species, they do go hand in hand with how ball pythons are. And they've been around almost as long. But the breeders haven't really identified and specific projects. They just kind of, for the most part, put male and female together, kept producing geckos. So the genes kind of went from a huge melting pot of 200 geckos with all these genes, and people just started breeding for whatever, no specific direction, which is not the way we breed. We breed for all of our parents and all of our projects. But not going down that rabbit hole, we reverse that over to the ball pythons, and we say, hey, if we can do what we're doing in crested geckos, applying all of this effort, and we were observing, not saying that ball python breeders don't play, they do, but it's such a different world. With crested geckos, you got to fire them up. They change colors. You got to make sure they're not in shed, just like ball pythons. Make sure your lighting is proper. You got to make sure you got the right photo equipment. For the most part, as long as you have your photography skills on par, and the snake is not in shed, you get a decent background. And the snake is not in shed, you get a decent background. You just snap a picture. With crested geckos, much different.
You're checking around half the time trying to get it to stop.
That business side, it was a no-brainer. We were already amongst and networking with everyone in the industry. And we said, hey, you know what? We should diversify. So that's what we ended up with.
Well, let's the diversification. I kept saying, hey, we need to diversify. We need to go some different directions because, anytime you are trying to put all of your eggs in one basket, that's not a good idea. You want to go in multiple different routes as far as business is concerned.
Right.
And I told him, I said, we need to. Now, I wasn't thinking snakes. I was more or less thinking like real estate or something.
Oh, how funny.
It is what it is. I said, well.
So do you love the snakes now? Are you used to them?
I am used to them now. I had a really bad experience when I was young with a snake. And that is the reason why I had such an adverse thought process towards it to begin with. It just took him like calming me down and understand like, okay, they're not as bad as you think they are. Your thought process was skewed from the time that you were little.
Right.
So that being said, like I enjoy them now. I'm still a little scared at times, and you can kind of pick up on that sometimes in ideas when I see one that's a little feisty, but for the most part I do pretty well with it.
And I think that's mainly because still 2 years in, yet to get at all.
Oh, you gotta
So-
get bit.
What?
Yeah, and that's what we're not gonna try, but
Good.
once she gets nipped, I think all of that will be completely behind her.
Oh my God.
That's shocking. You because people say that all the time, and I'm like, how?
Well,
Yeah.
You know?
I've been once,
Yeah,
and that was completely my
Yeah.
it was his fault. Yeah.
I got bit like 5 times this week.
Yeah, no. See, I'm very I'm paying attention to detail. Like I'm hyper focused on things. So I was actually pretty upset when I got bit. It was really my fault. You know, I had
You
snake,
never-
you know, without body temperature, snake to take a picture over top of an open tub, snake in it, and snake just underneath just sat. It was
Oh,
My
That was-
God.
yeah.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
you haven't been
absolutely.
100 times by babies.
No.
One of them tried to snap at me one time, but the babies don't really scare me at all. They are not. That doesn't scare me. Now this big mama up here, like what 3,200 or something. Now that would freak me completely out. I would be done. I love like the little tree boas
Yeah, no.
and green tree boas. I love the look of them, but as soon as the teeth come out, I'm like, nope,
It's like I'm out
that
here.
is not happening. I can do it.
So,
well,
one,
I was watching an episode with. Sorry, Tyler. I was watching
okay.
an episode with you and Darren, and he's such a nice guy. I tell you, he is all smiles. He just brightens my day every time I see him.
I love it.
But
Darren's
I loved it that y'all were talking about the positivity in the community and
Yes.
trying to spread that and stuff. And God knows that I've had a rough time with a couple of people, but I just keep going and keep thriving, doing my own thing and living rent free in their head. And so I actually love that, Just it's like whatever, but doing positive things for the community is like high on my list, and
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know, but I do the auctions and mostly they're for the people who's lost a loved one. And
Oh.
we did that on our channel now. And so if you ever hear of anybody that needs help, you just let Tyler or I, either one know. And,
Well,
Well, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
and so that's one good thing we can do for our community is be more giving of not just our time, but ourselves, basically.
mhm.
Go ahead, Tyler. I didn't mean to. I just really love that episode.
Yeah. No, 2 things. I got one question, but to add on that, no, I've talked to Will, not as much as I probably should because he's so freaking smart and I love talking to him, but both of them are like the nicest people in the world. So you just anytime I always appreciate calling Will, getting help with whatever I need a lot of the times. Whenever I need it. So
Oh, you
that's
just
one of
got
the
your
things I
favorite snake.
love
You're still
about that.
butthurt about it.
Is,
Definitely.
but one question that you mentioned, one of the big reasons you got into ball pythons was because you were feeling, I'm gonna put words in your mouth, but like left out at shows. The whole thing was snake shows, right? That was a main point you made. And earlier in the show, you said you won't be vending ball pythons for at least 2 years.
Right.
What between the time of, hey, I want ball python so I can be noticed more at shows, to now where it's 2 years down the line, even though I know and people who follow you produce what'd you do last year? 20, 30, 40 clutches. This year you want to do like 40, 50 clutches. So
We had 43 clutches.
Yeah.
right. So quantity wise, I did 25 clutches last year, and no, I've been doing I can fill up a table. What is your hesitation to bringing the ball pythons there? Is it because you're doing so well online you don't need to bring them to shows? Might be my guess, but there's a reason for it.
I have a difference. Wait, correction first. So it wasn't not being noticed. Was pretty much that the shows are pretty much a snake show.
Right.
But our philosophy for doing shows is different than the majority. Our philosophy is more so, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say our philosophy is more so in line with in between Ozzy and a Justin from Canova. You know, my opinion or fact for we don't want to vend 52 shows, 52 weekends a year. We want to have stress-free, go and enjoy ourselves, have fun, meet the people, hang out, have an enjoyable time. It's way too often now we vend, you meet someone, a fellow vendor, and they're awesome. They're having an amazing time. And come Sunday, they didn't do the sales that they wanted to make. They're pissed. I mean, completely transformed. And that's not how we roll. You know, it don't matter, you know, wherever you're going, the show, our business knowledge is different than just it being a hobby. It's not just a hobby for us. We love it and we're having a lot of fun with it, but it's a legitimate business. Therefore, before we leave our driveway, the show is taken care of. So when you pull a goose egg, it is what it is. So once we rock out there and meet all these awesome people for the first time, like that's enjoyment of it. Right. To our grind Monday through Thursday from home in front of the computer in our underwear. Okay.
Okay, I'm not in my underwear.
Well, I am. Doing our business during those times, that's when you want to bring in the bulk of your revenue. I think people miss, especially Aspire and Bree, they miss that when it's spoke on. Bob, he says it freely. Good buddy of ours. We've been to town several times. He tell you all the time. He said, you know, show income is awesome, but he'll tell you down like outright 70% of his yearly income come from online. Right. So it's like I think most people miss that, and it's not saying that we want to just be online. We just want to be able to financially support a business where we can go and no fault of our own, maybe bad promotion, maybe bad time of the year, maybe bad economy, but do a show and not be pissed at the end of it because now you spent money and you're going home with it and you can't survive.
Right. It's pretty much part of our marketing budget. Our marketing networking budget.
Exactly.
So that's why you see us only doing certain things because it has to make sense logically for us.
So it's like with Tinley, we wanted to get on that platform. We don't care. We don't do any sales. I want to get in front of 15,000 people and hey, how you doing? Grab a shirt, you know, take pictures. We literally, it's like you're at a concert. You know, we having a blast, and that's what we want it to be about. The enjoyment of the industry, the enjoyment of the hobby. As far as the 2-year mark, our perspective with the projects that we're working, we have aspirations and goals like everybody else. And even though we're new, we have a lot of new things. We're going to probably be hitting worlds first, certain things. And for us, our own umbrella, we have a lot of productions that we're going to be pushing the envelope when we produce, even this year in year 2. A lot of stuff that people are not into or not there yet. Even some of the top people in the industry. So as we progress within the next 2 and 3 years, we're going to continue to push the threshold because again, we produce, we buy food, we keep for, we sell, we do things in a specific manner to make sure that we keep moving forward. So by that time, I feel that we'll be able to come and do it still in a different way. Hey, come to our table, check this out. Oh, that's cool. That's insane. 4 or 5 different animals and all not for sale. We just want to show them all. What you coming to do? We want you to come and see. Just like Justin. Yes, he has some things. Look at that man, how he runs his business. You go to his table. Yes, he has animals for sale, but he has a lot of stuff that he's there to show off. And do you think to not sell an animal at a show? Doesn't bother $100.
Oh, yeah, it's like Levance. He's got 2 cases of not for sale. It's about 5 for sale animals at Tilly.
It's funny you say that. That's exactly who I was sitting there politicking and networking with at the last day, trying to pick his brain and try to, again, you're working with the people that you admire. Try to get as much information as possible, and you don't want to remain stagnant. We're literally trying to educate ourselves about this new venture that we're in.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to play the sponsor videos real quick, and then we'll get back to it. If I can find them.
Meet Sammy. a ball python breeder with a specialty in the pipe project. When you meet him, don't be shy to ask questions about his snakes, as he loves to share his knowledge and experience with others. He is a friendly and approachable guy who is always happy to chat with fellow reptile enthusiasts. Whether you are a seasoned snake breeder or just starting out, Sammy is the perfect person to connect with if you are interested in the pipe project. So keep a lookout for that hot pink shirt.
Are you looking for a place to go for affordable logo packages? In search of a top quality logo that won't break the bank? Look no further than SinkingPencil, the place to go for affordable logo packages. They offer exceptional logo packages at affordable prices.
Okay, now we're back. I need to get all that put together, but I hadn't found the time yet.
We were just how good it looks.
Yeah, it looks really
Oh, thank you. I do it all. I love it.
Yeah,
I
it
do
looks-
logos. I do intros. I do everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to make a little money on the side. I'll
Oh,
tell you.
absolutely.
Facts.
Definitely.
Yeah, we got these snake bills.
Yeah. No, but
So, in your spare time, I mean, do you miss being police officers?
No.
No.
No. Wow.
Um,
My sister misses it, but
I don't know. I was just different with what I had. I was SWAT team and SWAT team leader, so that portion of the training, kicking doors and taking names and that stuff was cool. But after doing road work for some years, you kind of do burnt out. It's a very thankless job. It's very difficult not to bring home, work.
he was extremely disgruntled. All the time.
Yeah.
Wobbling.
After you've done it for a while, come to find out that, for me, there's some things that you would love to change, in the world or in the job, and
But you can't.
there's nothing you can do about it.
The only thing that you can do is just take it case by case
Yep.
and do what you can in that situation. But honestly, 95% of the calls that we run down here, I don't know how they are places. I'm going to assume it's probably about the same. But 95 to 90% is all like adult babysitting.
Yes, that's
It's
exactly
like
what I was about to say.
dealing with just angry dealers that
Yes.
have more legal rights than they should. I mean, it can be ridiculous at times. And so the 5% that you actually go in and do and create change in that person's life or become their help, like that's very few and far in between. And so you really do, you get to a point where you're checking with it.
Yeah.
And that's at a point where you need to step aside and not do it anymore.
I agree with that. I think that's where a bunch of the mistakes come from now. Our police officers and crimes they commit, is burnout and just dealing with people and just wanting to be done.
But we had been at that place.
Yeah, definitely.
So I asked you earlier, what do you guys like to do in your spare time? And you're like, what spare time? But you gotta have something to do.
No, well, for me, it won't sound fun at all. I'm also a professional bodybuilder, so I'm literally getting my behind up in the mornings and doing those things. So that's not fun. It's like causing a lot of pain and pain. But outside of that, hanging out with the kids, enjoying family time.
And sleeping.
That's my husband's favorite hobby.
We did. We missed a lot of sleep over the years. I think it's taken a toll on our bodies, I would say, as far as like just being fatigued a lot more and a lot quicker. So literally, if we have any extra time, we're usually in there watching TV, watching the back of our eyelids, doing this number.
Like I said, that is my husband's favorite pastime. He's a manager of a plumbing place now here in Oklahoma.
Oh wow.
It's not as hard on his body anymore.
Right.
But it's the mental part of it. It's not the jobs that gets to him now. It's actually his employees. He says it all the time. I'm just babysitting all the time. These grown men.
That's how it is.
I can see where burnout comes real easy. That's why I'm glad I don't deal with people a lot.
Yes.
Hey, Jerry, how are you doing, bud?
So, rodents. You guys, we talked really early when you guys were just starting to build racks, get racks.
Right.
I don't even know how long ago. Was it months ago? Maybe half a year ago? I don't know. Oh. Yeah.
Amy wants to see your guns.
They're deflated.
Oh, look at that, deflated.
What?
You gotta show your muscles now.
For her.
Her.
Yeah. When did you decide you're done buying rats and wanted to start producing them?
So we haven't yet. So what's happening is, when we wrote down in the business plan, basically what's in the budget was $15,000 a year going to rodents.
Mm-hmm.
And after starting to do that for the entire year, we're like, okay, we need to cut some of this cost. We could use some of that funding to other stuff, or buy more snakes, which she doesn't want to. But started expanding to pretty much produce rodents pretty much for the hatchlings that we were hatching out, since we had so many hatchlings to feed. And after being successful at it, she's an awesome rodent specialist. We started saying, hey, expand this a little bit, and maybe we could feed some of the collection, and see where it goes. So we haven't reached it yet. This is all just in preparation to keep, producing rodents, to grow the rodent production, to pretty much maybe knock it down to $100 a week or whatever, instead of being $350, $400 a week. You knock the expense down to $150 a week, and you can free up more funds to diversify again and do another business.
Have you considered going straight ASF?
No. We won't enter that battle of ASF rats, but our stance on it is at this stage. I think there are stages to this game, and at this stage, we are anti-ASF. I'll give you a brief explanation why. Whatever, let's say we have 50 states. How many states are ASF illegal in?
13, maybe.
13. Okay. Even if we round it down, say 10. Okay. So 10 states, let's say ASF is illegal, and if we are pushing primarily online direct first, and we don't have a collection quite as unique as an Ozzy or a Justin, meaning we're not the breeders yet. That means that we are going to be middle, maybe lower, kind of getting started with, producing, for pythons. But you're automatically, it's a business approach. You're automatically taking yourself out of those 10 states, new ball python customers completely. And again, you got to look at it as a buyer. I'm getting in, and I'm in one of them states. I'm learning, and I want to buy a ball python. You think I'm going to buy a ball python from a breeder via ASF, and I can't even have ASF? I'm not going to shop with that breeder at all. So unless you're a breeder, that's when you can do the ASF thing, in my opinion.
So I don't know if you watched Samson's Snakeatorium, but Gavin was on this morning with him, and they were talking about it, and he makes some really good points. Like, I seen it somewhere else too, basically where they feed their keepers, their snakes, ASFs. the babies that they're planning on selling get
That's a
started
good
on
try.
And
So far,
so I thought that was kind of neat because
no feeders yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It may be something we have to visit when we have a complicated feeder. But I guess we'll stick to Old Faithful until then.
right. Well, I've had rats in my. We started off with rats in the house where we used to live, and it was just one rat, and then it grew to two, and then we moved, and we got them in the garage, and I could still smell them. It's the smell. I love the rats, I really do. But it's this overwhelming smell all the time, and I'm just like, I cannot wait to get rid of these rats. I'm going straight ASF. I don't care.
I'm so desensitized to that smell.
Yeah.
It's like really bad because my first job I had at 14 was in a, rat barn that had, 10,000 colonies. So I'm like, okay, it was really, and it wasn't pristine. I'll call it that. It wasn't getting clean. Every bin wasn't getting cleaned every week.
Right.
X, Y, and Z, because it's hard to do that when two people are working on this entire thing. But so I got so desensitized to it, and I said I'd never breed rats unless it was to myself. Now I breed them for myself, and the only thing that gets to me is the normal smell of rats doesn't get to me. The thing that's so potent is just dead rat. I can smell a dead rat from a mile away. It is so bad. But normal just rat smell is not bad to me at all anymore.
So there's a huge difference with you guys though to us because we've talked about this before. The humidity here is always really high. So it's like you clean them and you walk out the next day and it's just like you didn't do anything. Everything's already wet and soaked in and sinks, and it's just a constant battle.
Yeah. So, I don't know how it is for Will and Audra, but during the summertime, the dust and the rat smell is technically worse. But in the winter, we don't run too many fans or exhaust fans. Right. Because it's hard for us to keep the heat in when it's 5 degrees outside if we're always just pumping the hot air out. So the air in the winter is so stagnant and gets pretty like ammonia. And there's not much we can do about it because we're not running an exhaust fan. But in the summer we'll have the door open all day and whatever. But the smell is worse. It's a different kind of like worse depending on the season. I don't know how you guys do with the weather there. If you have any like challenges.
Not as yet. Summer does get a little more humid, but we don't really have a colonies yet to really say that is overwhelming, because a lot of times we'll clean and it'll be a weekend. You don't have a smell. So
how many colonies are you at right now? Or just roughly.
So we have 120, I guess, actual rats in boxes, and some of them.
Okay, you scared me. I was like, you don't have a lot.
So our setup is different.
I would say like 40 to 50 colonies.
Yeah, because we run 1.2s and got almost 40 tubs, and then now we're tapering out to run 1.3s in the bigger tubs. Okay, but we don't have very many.
Yeah, and so so I'm saying we have like 50 colonies in all right now.
Okay, and 1.2s and 1.3s, rarely 1.3s. Okay,
right.
Some of them are.
I got scared because that was a lot of colonies. I run 1.4s or 1.5s. I was like, you can't. Like, how do you not have smells?
So we're slated once we finally expand on it, we will have, what is that, 7?
There's 7 levels
times 4.
Yeah.
So 28
28
additional colonies, and then we'll be maxed out.
Yeah.
So
There you
we'll
go.
have that on top of the 40. So we'll have a total of 68 colonies.
68 at one. Yeah. At 1.3, is that your goal? 1.3, or do you not like?
Half of them, the 28,
The 28
will
would
be
be
1.3. We'll see how
Okay.
that goes.
Okay.
May do 1.4. Again, we're just testing out.
I
You know,
doubt
this is
that.
the unknown.
And how?
Well, honestly,
you
though,
guys
if you can find, sorry, Tyler, if you could find somebody to buy off of you, it's like I made more money off of rodents than I do snakes.
Yeah. What I think
That's
for me, at least. Now I've been breeding rats. It's probably been close to 2 years, 3 years now.
Mhm.
It's way more consistent, I'd say, for a smaller. Like again, I got a lot of snakes and I do a lot of shows and I do decent online sales, but it's very nice for me, at least, for like 5 or 6 people weekly to like come over and like get rats. So is that an end goal for you? Feed your whole collection plus sell, or is it just going to be a feed your collection?
No.
Is that
we have
Yeah,
no
we're-
interest in it, man.
Not really.
okay?
I guess well, it would be cool to be able to produce enough for a collection. That would be cool. But if we have an overproduction, to be completely honest, I mean, our rodent guy has been so honest. We'd probably just give our overflow to him, maybe in exchange for a rodent food. You know, we order by pallets and stuff like that.
I
Yeah,
donate
we're not
mine
interested
to,
in going that
It
route.
just and too it depends. Like, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
we have such a huge lag. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be talking over everybody. I was saying,
Oh,
Dr.
it's
Joe
okay.
from Kingdom Pythons, I donate to his classroom all of our overflow, and we feed live.
Oh wow.
And so they feed frozen thawed, so it gets donated to him, and that works out for me because it's going to a good cause.
Right.
Absolutely.
For me, what I did is like all my rat customers know it's probably not the best business practice, but for me, I charge way less than other rat breeders in the area.
Right.
So my whole spiel is like, I really don't want to make too much money on the rats. Like I'd love to at some point, but like my whole goal at the start was just pay for the food.
Right.
Now charging much less than other people, and being able to pay for my food is like, if I charged what other people around me were doing, I'd be making a lot more money. But it's like I'm covering my food and making a decent amount on the rats now by still charging a pretty decent amount less than other breeders around me. And I think the rats are a lot they're a lot weirder work, kind of, I'd say harder work, but I'm a consistency guy. So again, it's like right now, I don't know if I bet other breeders have felt it. I've had a huge influx in sales at shows and online. But again, I wish it lasted all year, but I know it won't. So to know that every week I can
you can't look at it like that. You gotta be hopeful. You gotta be planning now. This is the stuff that we were talking about like before. You're planning. We want to be planning for 2025, 2026,
right?
Things like that, where there's actually. I guess I can show you off actually a collection right down your alley that just hatched out today, and I'll show you that. Hold on.
All right, we can see some snakes.
But
I'm
a very big guy.
This is
year two.
This is year 2. I'm gonna show a handful of these babies. Check that out. So if it is, let's see if they clear up.
Oh,
back your face up, baby. All right, there we go.
You drinking water.
So what this was is a leopard clown het pied bred to pastel spot nose yellow belly clown Haas het pied that we tested after she was bred. She's not het pied. Possible orange dream, and we proved her out. to be Orange Dream.
Oh, yeah.
We have a couple all geners. We have 4 Batmans here. Everything is head pied. Everything is clown. So even in this current market, in year 2, 5 snakes. If we were going to sell all of them, you're going to put them on the market, and even on the low end of things, you're looking at, I don't know, $7,000 5A clutch.
Right.
All be in the planning. It's got to be in the planning.
No, I agree. It's not, for me, it's not the money aspect. I'm just a consistency guy. I can make 5,000 off of snakes in a month and 5,000 off of rats, whatever, just base numbers. But if the snake is one snake at $5,000 or, you know, $1,000 a week, for some reason, I know it's the same amount of money. I just like the $1,000 a week. The way I am, just knowing 5 people are 100% coming this week to get rats, it just makes me feel better than like, you know.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, yes, take it any way you can get it. But I would prefer kind of like I said, like the Ozzy method, or even always the Pythons, you know, smaller collection, better bang for your buck. Again, boutique style. You know, again, I want to be able to get out to the events. Maybe you don't make any sales, but guess what? If I can sell one snake for $10,000 and no snakes for 2 months, that's fine.
Right. No. I 100% agree with it.
And again, it's not all high price projects either. I'm just making an analogy of it has to improve we have to shoot for a goal that we want to keep. And when you catch out something and say they not the right gender and it doesn't fit what we need, all right, now someone else will be lucky enough to pay whatever the market price is for the animal moving forward. So someone else benefits off of needing those animals, he's shooting for a goal. So that's kind of how we do all of our pairings. That's how we did the 43 last year. And that's how we move forward.
I really like that. And I had never done that until this year. So I've told, you know, Holly and other people I talked to about my breeding plans, where it's like, there's not one clutch this year that I'm doing a pairing for that, you know, if a baby comes out, the snake I'm trying to hit, I will keep out of every clutch. You know what I mean? Like, obviously the misses are still going to be pretty good snakes and pretty good sales, hopefully. But if I hit what I want to hit from every clutch, I'm at least having 30, 40, 45 holdbacks.
Right.
That was my change this year. Is there, you know, I was told a while ago, you know, have your moneymaker clutches, just do them to sell them. And I liked that strategy. And, but now and I still agree with it most times, but this year I've switched it where it's like out of my 45, 50 pairings, there's one snake in every clutch I keep.
And then the times are changing.
Right.
Moneymaker clutch, definition of that is changing. So where, you know, whatever, or throw a specific snake out there, but whatever will be the moneymaker snake or clutch, what happens when there's 50 breeders that produce that? And now you're stuck with those that were the money-making snakes that ain't making the money. Everybody is looking at the money snakes as the one that you're going after. Your holdback is the moneymaker snake.
For me, it was told to me as like, mine was like an albino pied, right? Like albino pied stuff. Like, no matter what, people are going to want to buy albinos. People are going to want to buy pieds. Pair your albino pied to some double heads. And okay, dude. Dude, you hear that?
Yeah.
Dude. Bad.
You're making me angry.
But yeah, pair those two together and you get 8 eggs, you get pieds, you get albinos, you get albino pieds and sell them. Right. And I actually sold my albino pied trio. That's the only reason we kept them in the collection, was to pair them and sell all their babies. We never wanted to keep albino pieds. And we just sold them last week because we were like, we're not going to do that again. Now we're doing, you know, other stuff where we realized you don't need those. You're going to hit, you know, 5 babies in a six egg clutch. You're not going to want to keep. you're going to want to keep 1, 2, maybe 3, but there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 babies in a clutch that even on the ones I want to keep, my holdback clutches, it's like if I don't hit the right snake, I'm selling the whole clutch.
And that's where you got to be. That's how Ozzy does it, and he's
right.
combos and moving out incredible animals that he's replacing. So that's the practice that we're chasing behind. So yeah, when we're chasing them crazy combos, you miss because you miss a gene or two. Somebody else really, really wants that. So that's
right.
Exactly.
Right. What are the clutches this year that you guys are most pumped for snake wise? And I know I've focused a lot on the snakes, that's just me, but is there any crested gecko things as well that you're super excited for this year?
Crested gecko wise, we are deep with the Atlantic. Still very, very hot, recessive. We have a new male entering prime time. He is our lily white phantom hypoxanthic male. So he's a triple recessive with the incomplete dominant added in crested gecko male.
Lily white.
Yeah.
So super excited about that. Yeah, he has quite the lineup with cappuccinos, frappuccinos. We're gonna be hitting
the only crested geckos, like I like cresties, I think they're cool. The only ones that I saw was like, holy crap, that thing's like actually insane. I'd love that was an Axanthic lily white.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the other 2 genes in the hypo, and I don't even remember what the other one is.
Hypo does the thing as the snakes it does in
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I need to see that now because I love the Axanthic lily white. I'm not a crested guy, but I just want to see it because I love the Axanthic lily whites for some reason.
That's
cool.
So what about the ball python?
Oh man, it's almost everything that we're pairing. We got a bunch of green tabs. Everything is getting ready to lay, but everything has literally an energy to it. So the most, let's say the 5 top, let's say we are waiting on Pastel Stranger Puzzle male, bred to big, huge 4,000 gram het puzzle female. Waiting on that one.
Oh yeah.
And then we have Pastel Double Het Clown Puzzle male. These are all his breeds. But the first male was different. This male was bred to a puzzle girl. This male was bred to a Pastel Hidden Gene Wama Clown who already have eggs on the ground. We're also to another Hidden Gene Wama girl, co-pastel. So we're chasing a lot of puzzle clown stranger combos. Also, we're chasing a lot of stranger acid puzzle.
Oh,
so yeah, we can have that. That's what I said. We're trying to push for stuff that in year 2 that hasn't really.
Some honor the monsoon.
Yeah,
monsoon plants because I don't particularly care like the brown of the monsoon, but we have what's the banana. She's a head.
Yeah, banana double head.
Yeah,
monsoon monsoon pie, and she's been bred to a double head monsoon pie.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
I love the the colors of like bananas and the rainbows. That's like really ideal to me. But I love the busy pattern of the monsoon. So there's like a lot of people that see what they can do to break up the pattern, but the pattern to me is what makes the monsoon very interesting. So I don't really understand that concept of breaking up and causing disruption in it.
Yes, we have a lot of empty.
Yes, empty backs.
Which is very, very exciting. Working with.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Tyler, do you have any final questions?
Yeah, I mean, I got one main one. One of the things you said in your pairings you're excited for is a pretty hot debate over the past few months. Puzzle clowns. What are what are you thinking about it right now with all the stuff that has been seen, said, whatever. Are you hoping that you hit it and it's like crazy or what?
Oh, they froze up on us.
You guys are frozen. Am I frozen?
No.
So,
Do you know what he said?
yeah. So we're hoping to push the envelope with the Puzzle Clown. Again, I think in my experience and research, everybody isn't gonna like everything. And then some things you're not gonna like until certain levels get hit in it. So we're still gonna push the envelope trying to get Stranger into that mix because we have a lot of Stranger combos. But I think that might be the key to unlock with the Puzzle Clowns, as we're going to eventually be pushing Puzzle toward the Kiki project. We're deep in the Kiki project as well, which is the G-Stripe Clown. So we have a lot of legs to that project, as well as we got our Aussie boy who is slam dunk. He's got like 10 emails this year. So we had that leopard orange string super inchy male to ultramel het pie het ultramel pie double DG hypo. Yeah. It's crazy.
So,
every breeding we're trying to have a home run if it goes for us.
Yeah. And then to kind of just add, like, some of my thought processes are actually like 2 years in the making.
Right.
We got this new regime that we're playing with now that kind of just literally we have 2 snakes right now, the neon. So I'm excited to see what. And I love
Show that.
Yeah, show him on.
Yeah.
I love the GHI, and everybody who's seen any of our videos knows that I'm like a GHI. That's my favorite. That's like by far. But this guy, he's just unreal. It's got the neon and the GHI in there.
Pastel GHI. That's it. Pastel GHI.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's my guy.
50% het.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. That thing's insane.
Where's my sunglasses?
Right? And yet, this is not on the top 5, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But sneak preview, spoiler alert. Guess
Right.
it was.
Well, I think that's it for me. Holly, I know you got your question.
I got my lame question.
Oh yeah.
I just love
No,
it
you
though.
got your
I always ask this at the end. What is the dumbest thing someone has said to you after they find out you're a snake breeder?
What do you do with them? What do you do with them?
The dumbest thing, I think it's like people who ask, why would you ever do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I would never do that.
Yeah.
Right. You
They
would never.
always say that. Do you touch them? Touch them? Crazy question.
Are they gonna eat you? That's usually it. Don't they size you up to eat? No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Understanding ever. Absolutely.
They
I
just
haven't had any good ones lately. Just the same old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all so much for coming on and joining us. I don't want to keep you. I know you're busy people, just like the rest of us.
It's all right. We'll be until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're always late. You always come in right when I'm about to close. Yes, I do too. I love your guys' positivity, and it's contagious. So keep it up because we need it.
Oh, definitely.
And thank you, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, share. Everybody here. Our descriptions our information's in the description of the video. There we go. And
come by Tinley and say, hey, take a picture with us.
Yes.
And Tyler's setting up too. So
I will. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm not setting up, but I'll be there.
Oh, he's not setting up, but he'll still sell you a snake or two. mean,
Yeah, I'm delivering 4 already. If you need more, check
Nice.
out, bring in some. So
yeah, hand delivered
okay.
by the Tyler's Toxic Balls himself.
right. And,
Oh,
but
that's
thank
great.
you guys. Thank you, Audra, Will. It was great having you guys on. I always appreciate you guys. And in the chat, we'll see you guys next Wednesday or Saturday if you guys will be on the Saturday show.
Yep, and
Awesome.
thank you to our sponsors as always.
We appreciate
Bye.
you guys.
Thank you.